Good morning to all. This is Prabjot Singh Nanda. Welcome to Read and Succeed. So today we'll be covering the topic cells in our video, and we will be referring the book Lower Secondary Cambridge Sciences. So without further ado, let's start reading and learning. So I hope that this video will be very helpful to each and every individual watching it. So let's start. I think I should make the font a little bigger here, right? That is too big. Just a minute, sorry. Yeah. So if you study cells, if you study a plant by observing a part of it through a microscope, you will see that it is made up of a very large number of tiny boxes. These are called cells. All living organisms are made of cells. So, before reading further, can we all really take a minute to process and think about what we just read? And if you don't understand what we read, it's okay, we're going to read it again. But if you have any learning about cells, then just for a minute, pause this video and think about it. What do you know about cells? Pause this video for 1 whole minute and think about it. Then I'm gonna start with it. So I think you must have all paused this video honestly and would have thought about it. So if you don't, then it's your own loss. Okay, so now let's understand what cells are. If you study a plant by observing a part of it, here it's meaning that if you study a plant by observing means to contemplate or to look forward into something. You will see that it is made up of a very large number of tiny boxes. I'll show you, sorry. Very large number of tiny boxes. So you can see there are very tiny boxes here, right? These boxes we can, like for example, I have a leaf with me, but I can't really see those boxes in the leaf, right? Because when I observe, those boxes are too small for me to see. And when I magnify the leaf, I would be able to see all of this. Don't you think? Yeah. Because it's saying here that if you study a plant by observing a part of it through a microscope, you will see that it is made up of very large number of tiny boxes. Tiny, these are very small. And these are called cells. All living organisms are made of cells. Cells are so small that you cannot see them with your eyes alone. The photograph in the plant cells was taken through a microscope. The microscope magnifies the view of the cells so that they look much bigger than they really are. Now the meaning of magnifies is when you open something or go deeper into something. For example, it can be used in a theoretical way and in practical way both. For example, I magnified into the topic cells. It means that I went deeper into the topic of cells. And if I say we magnified a piece of paper, then you would see that how a paper looks from inside. So we could use it in any way. Okay, now let's go forward. This is one of the most important things in this chapter. So, parts of the plant cell. It's not important that you have to go with the book, but you can also gain other knowledge about it. So, we can see many, like this is related to 7th standard. If you want, then I can show you then I can relate it to other standards and higher standards too. So what you can see here is a palisade cell. It is a palisade cell, and I think I should really write the spelling of the cell. Where do I write? Here. I'll make a note and I'll write. It's written as palisade cell. Okay. Okay. Let's here we are. So this cell is, as I told you, a palisade cell. This is a plant cell. Now there are two types of cell, and we'll come to it later. Okay, so this is a plant cell. Here you can see that it has a cell wall. Now, a cell wall is something that is strong and stiff. It holds the plant cell in shape. Plant cell walls are made of a substance called cellulose. So you can see here this yellow thingy, this is the cell wall. And this protects the cell from harsh climatic conditions and other things, and keeps it in shape. Now comes the cell membrane. Now, noticing the cell membrane is very difficult. I'll show you how it looks. Oh, it needs more magnifying. Make it 100%. Okay. Can I magnify it more? Oh my gosh. Okay, so you can see, can you see this black lining here? This, wait, just a minute. Can you see this black line here that continues like this? This is a cell wall. It just became fat, but it's not that much. This black lining here, this one. I was just trying to highlight it, but this black lining here, this is the cell membrane. Now it's a very, very what you can say, flexible structure, and it's very thin. It's very thin and flexible both. It's like the skin of a soap bubble. Like when you hold a soap bubble, it just pops because the surface tension is very less, and you know that the bubble, it pops because skin is very, very weak. Okay, then it lies along the inner edge of the cell wall. The cell membrane controls what goes in and out of the cell. Then let's go to the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. All cells have cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is like a clear jelly. Chemical reaction. I think there's something wrong here, but it can be taken as both. Like I would prefer. Biochemical reactions happen inside the cytoplasm. Biochemical, like we all know about chemical reactions. For example, magnesium plus oxygen gives us magnesium oxide, but like those kind of chemical reactions don't happen. These are called biochemical reactions, which are related to some chemical substances, but they're not very, very, you can say, strong or something. Now let's move to the most important part of a cell. I think you must have noticed this purple thing here. This is the nucleus. Now, right now, we can see these kind of small things here. These are not things. The right way to say it, these are the organelles of a cell. So, if a teacher asks you the question that what are these small things, in brackets, then you say that, excuse me, ma'am, this is not things, these are organelles. So, most cells have a nucleus. The nucleus controls the activities of the cell. Okay, so this is the most important part. This is the brain of the cell. Mitochondria. All plant cells have mitochondria. Singular mitochondria, and inside mitochondria, energy is released from food. So, the mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. Then comes the chloroplast. Now, chloroplast is only inside plant cells. It's not inside other cells. It's not inside animal cells because it contains a substance called chlorophyll, which is green in color, and it keeps the plant green. So if you guess that we would have chloroplast in our cells, then you would be green the other day. Yeah, I'm telling you, we're not green. So this is where the plants make their food in the process of photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means the process. So a process using light where energy is created. Chloroplasts look green because they contain a green substance called chlorophyll, as I said, and plant cells are in sunlight often contain chloroplasts. Subvacuole. This is a large fluid-filled space inside a plant cell. The liquid inside it is a solution of sugars and other substances dissolved in water. The solution is called cell sap. Okay? Let's move forward. Okay. So these are some activities. Let's sit down. But yeah, we'll go through it. So before going through the activity, let's go through how a microscope looks like. So this is how a microscope looks like. So it's not really important for you all to memorize this, but there's no need to memorize this at all. I don't believe in memorizing things. It's better to understand, then you can know everything. So what we can see here is basically this is a microscope, and this is the stage, for example, where the main things happen, where the main thing is kept. And a stage is a place where a show happens or something main that happens. So this is a microscopic stage here. Low power objective lens it doesn't really show you deeper, and medium power objective and high power objective. Then there's the eyepiece. There are different types of eyepiece. There are also like these types. One is for going deeper, one is just simple, and one is very deep. Now this is coarse focusing knob and fine focusing knob. This make the microscope go up and down like this. Okay, so microscopes. Scientists who study living organisms often use microscopes to help them see very small things. The diagram shows a microscope. Look at a real microscope and find out all of these paths on it. Let's move forward. So here what they're saying, that how to make an experiment, how to conduct an experiment using onion and some other objects that are required, and seeing the cells of an onion. So before going into this experiment, we'll read other parts of this chapter and then come back to it. Animal cells. Parts of an animal cell. All animals are made of cells. You are an animal and your body is made of cells. No one knows exactly how many cells there are in a person. One estimate is about 100 trillion. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 zeros with 1. Oh my gosh. So 100 trillion. Oh gosh, that's too much. Animal cells are similar to plant cells in several ways. They have a cell membrane, cytoplasm, mitochondria, and nucleus. So can you just imagine that there are millions and trillions of these, basically 100 trillion to be precise. Nobody has ever managed to count each and every cell that we have. It cannot be such a uniform amount. It might be constant or it will be different. So this is how an animal cell looks like. Let me go deep into this image. Okay, I think you can see it now. This is how an animal cell looks like. You can see here's the mitochondria, here's the nucleus. Okay, here's the nucleus, here's the cytoplasm, and the cell membrane. Now, An animal cell does not have a cell wall. Now you would be wondering, why? Why does it not have a cell wall? Because plant cells had it. Now the reason, have you we all have a covering on our body. For example, we talk about humans. Humans have clothes on their body, right? And other animals such as bears, dogs, wolves, cats, they have fur on their body which can protect them. Now, plants, they don't have any kind of fur on them. So that's why these cell walls, they protect the plant from harsh climatic conditions. We already have clothing and fur on our body to protect us from those harsh climatic conditions, right? Let's move forward. So, sorry, I think we didn't cover we haven't covered about animal cells yet. Yeah, we haven't read it. So we have. Okay. Specialized cells. Some specialized animal cells. Not all of the cells in your body are the same. There are many different kinds of cells in your body. Each kind of cell has a particular function. The function of a cell is the job that it does or the role that it plays. Each cell is specialized to carry out its function. This means that it has a structure that helps it to do its function really well. The cell is adapted to carry out its function. The diagrams show 3 kinds of specialized cells in the human body. Red blood cells are similar than most other cells in the body. This allows them to get through tiny blood capillaries so they can deliver oxygen to every part of the body. Now, I think you all can see this diagram of a red blood cell. Red blood cell doesn't have a nucleus, it has a cytoplasm, cell membrane, it doesn't have a mitochondria because it needs more amount to store hemoglobin and oxygen. Now it's written the cytoplasm contains a red pigment color called hemoglobin that this carries oxygen around the body. So it needs more space to carry hemoglobin and oxygen both. The cell has no nucleus, this leaves more space for the hemoglobin, as I said. Now let's move to neurons. Neurons carry signals, electric signals, from one part to the another part of the body. They help in different parts of the body to communicate with each other. Now neurons, they are located in our brain. The brain sends different functions to different types of organs of our body. They can carry signals from the brain to muscles to make the muscle move. The axon is a very long strand of cytoplasm. Electric signals can travel along this very quickly. The axon is a very long strand of cytoplasm. Okay, then comes the dendrites. Dendrites are short strands of cytoplasm that collect electric signals from other nearby nerve cells. So, I give you all 1 minute to pause the video and think about whatever that I told you about cells, so you can process it all. So, I think you could pause the video now and think about it for 1 minute. So now I think all of you would have looked over to what I have all said or to that. So now let's continue. Ciliated cells. Ciliated cells have tiny threads along one edge, like microscopic hairs. These are called cilia. The cilia can move one place in the body. One place in the body that contains ciliated cells is the lining of tubes leading from your mouth to your lungs. Other cells in this lining make a sticky substance called mucus. When you breathe in, the mucus traps dusts and bacteria in the air to stop them going into your lungs. The cilia sweep the mucus up to the back of your mouth, and you swallow it. So basically, these are located in the tubes, like leading from your mouth to the lungs, like the trachea, and I think also the esophagus. No, not in the esophagus. It's in the trachea, and also there are more hair-like projections, like cilia, that are in our nose also. Like all humans have hair in their nose, and those small hair-like projections, they trap all kind of dust particles, and because they contain mucus. The mucus is a very sticky substance. Okay, let's move forward. Yeah. So here we can see our root hair cells. They are found outside on the outside of plant roots. Their function is to absorb water from the soil. Each cell has a long, thin extension that allows water to move easily from the soil into the plant. Now, you can see that there's a very long thing in front of it that absorbs all of it and takes it inside the cell. Now, this is a plant cell, like before, but it does not have any kind of mitochondria and cytoplasm, but only a nucleus, because its functions are very important for the whole plant. Now, the reason why there's no kind of cytoplasm here, because this has no need to do photosynthesis, because these cells will be found inside the soil, but not above the soil. That is the reason why it does not contain any kind of chloroplast. Then this is a palisade cell and are found in the leaves of the plants. The function is to make food by photosynthesis. Now here, chloroplast is very important. And also here we are talking about making food. So mitochondria is equally important. The chlorophyll absorbs energy from the sunlight, which is used to help the plant to make the food. Okay, now let's move forward. Now, this shows us that living cells, including animal and plant cells, are called organisms. There are different kinds of cells in an animal or plant. Most of them are specialized to carry out a particular activity. Usually many cells of the same kind are grouped together. A group of cellular cells which all work together to carry out a particular function is called a tissue, or in scientific way it is means, like, if you go more deeper, it is also called an epidermis. So here we see that how the cells of onions look under a microscope. Okay, this shows a ciliated epithelium, means a tissue of ciliated cells together. Now, organs and organ systems. The bodies of a plant and animals is contained in many different kinds of organs. Parts of organs. For example, your organ include your brain, heart, muscle, glands. Organs including leaves, roots, and flowers. Each organ is made of several kinds of tissues working together. For example, your brain contains neurons and also several kinds of cells. Plant root contains a root hair cell and also several other kinds of cells. Organs also work together. Set of the organs that all work together to carry out the same function is called organ system. So this tells us that, for example, this is the organ system of doing photosynthesis, and here the palaceid cells, another kind of palaceid cells. Okay, so I guess you all would have found this session helpful. Thank you all for being a part of this session, and I hope that we'll be able to do more topics like this in the future.